Hello. All right. So you're welcome to Photographics Academy. All right. This is a pro retouch pack or retouch tutorial. We're going to be taking you through step-by-step guide on how to take your pictures to the next level. Trust me, this might be quite an extensive video. It has nothing to do with uh the basic levels of it. So if you are new into Photoshop, you do not understand what we're doing, I would advise you go through our essential retouching pack first, then come back to this one. So our essential pack gives you a foundation of everything we're going to be looking at in this particular video. So without wasting much of your time, let's get started. So this is my capture one. Majorly what I do here is just to balance one or two lightning and export my image, or rather open my image up in Photoshop as a TIF. The reason I do that is that TIF holds not just the settings that I did in my capture one, but it gives me the best quality that picture has to offer. So what do I do when I get into my capture one? I just walk around the high dynamic range and probably the exposure if needed. So you can decide to take up your highlight, but I think it's too much, so I'm going to cut mine down just a little like this. Add a little contrast to it by just darkening your blacks just a little. So I think I'm good. Maybe I'll leave the shadows up just small. All right, so I think this is perfect for what I want to do in my capture one. Excuse me. All right, so this is perfect for what I want to do in my capture one. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to open this image up in Photoshop as a TIF image. So what TIF means is that it carries all the settings that we did right here and applies it on our image. So how do you do that? You come over to this place. I already did it on one, so I'm going to do it again. Come over to this place, right? Click on edit with. So when you say edit with, you select the Photoshop you wanted to use. So I assume it's Photoshop 2022 that you are using, but mine, I'm using Photoshop 2022. So I'm going to be clicking on it. Then make sure that your format is in TIFF. Make sure your format is in TIFF. Your color bit is in 16 bits, and we are good to go. So just click on edit variant. It's going to automatically load up for you in Photoshop. All right, so okay, so the picture is right here in Photoshop. We're going to be taking this away. All right, so this is the picture we are working with. You see how strong the quality is, all the textures. The reason is because we exported this image as a TIF. So the first process we're going to be taking through is to prepare our image for skin retouching. We prepare our image for skin retouching. How do you do that? First of all, take care of the blemishes. First of all, take care of the blemishes. So first of all, take care of the blemishes. This is an image we got from Deity Studio. You can equally check him out. The guy is an amazing photographer. Gives options for raw images you can practice with and hone your retouching skill. All right, so thank you Deity Images for this amazing picture. All right, so moving forward, first of all, we're going to fix our blemishes. How do you do that? Control J on your keyboard to duplicate your layers. So I'm going to be just picking my spot healing brush tool and target the blemishes, the ones I can see. If you're not seeing your circular brush, you can press on your caps lock. It's going to load up. Okay, so just make it slightly bigger than the blemish and click over it like this. So we'll gradually take care of our blemishes just a little like this. So take your time and get yours done. All right, maybe I should try using my spot healing, just manually pick stuffs, just whatever that works for you. But know that the first process is to take care of the blemishes. Yeah. That's the first process. Try not to do a lot so that you do not spoil the anatomy of your skin. So you do not spoil the anatomy of your skin. It's very important to affect the final image you will get. So just try to pick stuffs from around the same area on the skin texture. So you do not mess things up and all of that. Okay, so I think I'm okay with this. Every other stuff I can fix later. All right, so the second thing I'm going to be considering to do is to go to my Liquify and make some little corrections and adjustment to the image. Look at some hairs that are flying. Of course, we can take care of that. Just one or two. We'll do that right in frequency separation so that we can keep our textures intact. So the next thing we are doing is to go straight into Liquify. So I might just have to flatten this or Ctrl J again so I can have backup. Click on Liquify. So it's going to load up. Let's know if Photoshop detected our face. Beautiful. So Photoshop detected the face. Look at the lips, look at the nose. So the first thing I want to do is to shift the hair. Look at the edges of the hair. So I would want to shift it to make it look seamless. So I'm going to be picking this push left. Push left, zoom in a little and just round like this. Excuse me, that was too much. So make it very small so you can zoom in. You can even reduce the pressure so it doesn't do much. Just like this. So it just pushes the edges of the hair. I think that was too much. Maybe you should try from left to right. Nice. So it just pushes the edges of the hair in such a way that gives it a very seamless effect. All right, so let's zoom out and look at before and after. Of course, we are still going to be fixing the hairs that are on the forehead. So this is before, this is after, this is before, this is after. If you think it's too much, you can equally take your eraser tool right here. Should be this, I guess. So let's see. All right, so this allows you clean it back and get it back to where it was already. All right, so let's go to the face tool. Want to make some adjustment to the head, something like the nose, the cheekbone. So want it pushing out a little more. So you can just try to drag your lips a bit closer. Take hair up a little, just to make things pop. Look at the cheekbone, just drag it in a little. Beautiful. So look at the way the face is getting shape already. So you can try to pinch the nose in, just small. Pinch the nose in, just a little. Make sure you do not do too much. Look at the eyes. This one is looking a bit bulged out, while this one is not. So we can just pinch this in to make it go back to just something small. Just take your time. Make sure you do not do too much. Like this. Nice. So want to tilt. Look at the way the other one is tilted. So want to tilt this one a little to make them have equal or uniform look. Nice. So I think we are good to go. This is before. Let's check. This is before. This is after. This is before. This is after. I think I need to do a little touching on the hair right there. Let me drop the pressure one more time. Probably the density and go around again. Nice. Just take your time. Okay, so we can zoom out to see what we did. This is before, this is after. All right, so far we are going to be stopping right there. Any other thing we can come back and fix later. I think the body is a bit too distorted. You can try to push stuffs around just a little, not stuffs in here and there. So the essence of beauty retouch is to make things look very seamless and beautiful. All right, so I think I'm cool. Press OK. The next thing we're going to be doing is to crop our image into social media sites. So this is before, this is after. We've not actually done anything and our picture is already taking shape. So I'm going to equally flatten this as well so I could crop. So I'm cropping with 8x10 my Instagram or social media official size, so they won't have to cut any part of the image while we try to upload on the social media. So I'm going to do the cropping right here. Just I'm going to turn it like this so I don't get the dress, just like this. Nice. Then I'll cut here in. That's beautiful. So you can decide to push here in as well, like that. So press OK. It's going to load up. So the reason it's taking time is because my content aware is on. What that means is that Photoshop tries to fill in on any part that maybe on any part that I'm losing out or that I'm putting in too much, as Photoshop tries to make it look realistic. That's why it took time a little. All right, so you can crop to any size you want. I think this is the size I'm going to be cropping with. So the next thing we're going to be doing is to take care of these hairs, these flyaway hairs around the edge. So I'm going to use my select subject. To select the hair. So look at the way this works. We're going to be selecting the hair, then invert the selection so we can take care of the flyaway hairs. All right, so Photoshop has selected our image, but what we want to work on is on the background because that's where the flyaway hairs is. So what do? We invert the selection. How do you do that? Control Shift Alternate I. So the selection is inverted. Now you can pick up your clone stamp tool. Zoom in and start taking care of the edges. Of course, you can feather. You can just feather it with 2, so you do not make it look very edgy. All right, so just take your clone stamp and start painting around the edges so you take care of the flyaway hairs. Remember, we said we are still preparing the image for retouching. So all this process is for preparing the image for the real retouching. So when we are done with all of this, we now step into skin retouching officially. But if you do not get it right at this point, it may be very hard for you to finally get your image to that point where you love it. So take your time and prepare your image, get it ready for retouching, get it ready for what you want to do, then you start working. All right, so I'm done with this part. Come over to this area. Just take your time. There is no need to rush. I'm not rushing anywhere. Just take your time. Of course, it's the amount of time you give it and your level of expertise that determines the kind of results you produce at the end of the day. So we're going to be taking our time to get it right. Just fix the hair. Remember, I'm using clone stamp tool. You press your alternate to pick a sample around the same area, then you paint it in. That's just basically how it works. All right, so I think I'm done. Press Ctrl D to deselect. All right, so see the way the hair is now looking so nice. At the edges. Now we can step into skin retouching fully. All right, let's see what our patch tool can do with all of this. I think I still need to do a little fixing here and there. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so we can actually use our patch tool to take care of these hairs to a great extent because it's not looking so nice. So just take your time, get your image ready. Might mess things up for you while doing your frequency separation. That's why I'm taking my time to see if I can remove as much as I can before we get into frequency separation, so I wouldn't have to do much of that right in frequency separation. Try as much as possible not to move your highlights and your shadows around so you do not lose the anatomy of your skin. Try as much as possible not to move these stuffs around. Just take care of the hair you came to take care of and leave the shadows and highlights exactly where they are. That is the beauty of your image. When you mess with them or you mess them up, it's going to affect the overall result of your picture. Look at this one down here. So just take your time. Excuse me. All right, so do that like that. Okay. Sorry, I'm taking my time to get this done. This is the most basic part of the whole thing. If you miss it here, it's going to be very hard for you to get it right, especially in the final result. That's why I'm taking my time to get it right here. Because once you miss it here, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to get a pro result at the end of the day. Look at some unwanted textures here and there. Of course, we're going to fix that later. But let's take care of the ones we can take care of now. All right, so look at all of those parts. All right, so just leave those things the way they are there. All right, so the next thing we're going to be jumping right into is our frequency separation. Man, this is where the work starts. So this is before, this is after. So this is where the work begins. What do I mean by that? This is where you have to pay a huge attention to the dimensions of your face. Now, for a quick workflow, if you, we are using a plugin called Beauty Retouch. I believe that you have it. If you do not have it, I advise you go get your own. It's such an amazing plugin that eases workflow for you. Of course, if you already know how to set these things manually, it's exactly the same thing, just that this one makes the work easier. You will not have to crack your head trying to set it up. You just use what's there already. So having said that, this video is not sponsored by Retouch Academy or anybody. It's just that I found it very effective, so I'm telling you it can help your photography journey. So having said that, I feel like I should have removed that hair. All right, so having said that, I'm going to locate my frequency separation panel or action in Retouching Academy. So this is it right here. It's called frequency separation. Excuse me, let me take some water. All right, so as I was saying, this is frequency separation action. The one we are taking or we are making use of is the via Gaussian blur. So you click over it and it gives you a prompt. It says, what radius of Gaussian blur are you using? Now, this is a tip. At this point, this is where you determine how sharp your image turns out to be at the end of the day, or how blurry it turns out, or how smooth rather it turns out to be at the end of the day. So the higher the number of your radius, the higher the sharpness and details you get at the end of your job. The lower the number of your radius, the lower the number of details you get. So what I'm trying to say is, if you want to maintain the high quality detail and sharpness in your image, start going for a high to a big number of radius, somewhere like around 15, 16, depending on the resolution and the capacity of your camera, depending on how detailed your image is. Then if you are doing probably a portrait that got down to the waist, I would advise you go somewhere around 8 to 10. Then if you are doing a full body, you should be looking at 4 to 6 or 7. That should be giving you pretty a good job. So for this level of close-ups, take it up to 15 if details is what you want. So I'm going to just type in 15 like that. Beautiful. So you're going to notice that I'm losing all the details in terms of texture, but I can still see everything with my eyes. So that means your frequency separation is right. Press OK and we are good to go. All right, so one of the ways to know that your setting is your setting is correct is that when you try collapsing this group, nothing happens to your image. If anything happens to your image, know that you didn't get the settings right. So open it up. So we are actually working on correcting tones instead of low frequency. Now let me explain what each of these does. High frequency is where your textures and your details are, while your low frequency is where your colors are. So the idea of frequency separation is for you to be able to work on your colors without affecting your texture. So at the end of the day, when you are done fixing your colors, your texture makes the image still looks original. So that is just the essence of frequency separation. I believe you are familiar with that term, but if you are not familiar with frequency separation, this is exactly what it does. Now, why correcting tone, since we said low frequency is where the color is? Now the reason we are using correcting tone is because one, it's an empty layer, so that makes it a history layer. What that means is that whatever I do on that layer, I can erase without having to press Ctrl Z. I can erase, and that gives you flexibility. If you have to press Ctrl Z, you might have painted for like 200 history list, and your history is set to 100. So it means that whatever you must have done before the 200 is gone. So you have to start afresh and mess up your whole stuff. But if you are using an empty layer, which we called, or rather, Retouch Academy called correcting tones, if you are using that particular one, it gives you manual control over where you want your stuffs to be, the ones that enters where you do not want them. Even if you see them almost when you are done with your job, you can equally just pick up your history result tool and fix it. So that's why we're working on correcting tones. That's why we're working on correcting tones. So what do? We have, the tool we are using is mixer brush tool. So I'm going to go grab my mixer brush tool. So grab yours and let's get to work. Now, when you grab your mixer brush, to make sure you are selecting uh, an uh, an empty brush, make sure you don't check this. If you check this, it means you are mixing your color. So make sure you are selecting a transparent brush. Keep your wet at somewhere around 30. 30 will be fine. Load with 30 will be fine. Then those last two, just keep it at 20. Mix does not actually do much for you in frequency separation, but just keep it at 20. Make sure that your pen pressure is off. If you are not using a Wacom tab, if you are using a Wacom tab, I would advise you on that. Then keep your smoothness somewhere around 20, 30. Let's drop it around 30, and we are good to go. Now make sure you are sampling all layers. Very important. Make sure you sample all layers. Sample all layers. Now, to get to work, to get things going, press enter. All right, so to get things going, you need to collapse or minimize your high frequency so you can be able to see. Now, if you paint it directly like that, you're going to notice that your textures are beginning to show up again. The reason is that we already told Photoshop sample from all layers. So it's equally sample from layers above, which is high frequency, and we do not want it sampling from high frequency. So how do we do that? We minimize your high frequency. So whatever you are doing now is just working on correction tones and low frequency. So after the whole stuff, we'll get back our high frequency and we are good to go. All right, so the first rule in frequency separation is this. If you can write it down, write it down. Never paint your highlights into your shadows. What do I mean by that? Maybe let me do a little illustration for you. We'll come back to this. Let's keep it like this. So I'm going to create an empty layer. Take up a white brush, make it quite hard and tiny. All right, so this is your image right here. This is your image right here. If you look at the image, you're going to notice some movements in lightning. You're going to notice that right here is somewhere you can call your highlights. Excuse me, let's repaint. So right here is somewhere you can call your highlights. Then when you come to this area, notice a different type of shade of skin. Notice a different type of shade of skin. This could be your mid-tones. So this is your highlight, this is your mid-tone. If you come down here, the here is quite darker. So this is your shadows. This is your mid-tone again. This is your highlights. Sorry, my painting is bad, but I guess you get what I'm saying. So this is your shadows right here again. Let's connect this. All right, so this is your highlights over here. Look at it. You do not even need anybody telling you that here is brighter than the every other part. This is your mid-tone. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pick out the movement in lightening, creating some certain level of depth and anatomy for your skin. So what that means is that you do not paint your shadows into your highlight, and you do not paint your highlight into your shadows. So after painting these two, you now do what we call blending in your mid-tone. So here is a highlight, here is a highlight, here is a mid-tone right there, here is a mid-tone, here is a mid-tone, obviously on the lips, but we are not doing frequency separation on the lips, so we'll leave that out. Look at the nose, look at the tip. So here is a highlight like this. Let's follow it. Look at the highlights, look at the shadows. See the way it's flowing. Look at the shadows. Look at the mid-tone down here. Let me not draw that, it's going to become quite clumsy. Look at the mid-tones again. So just take your time. The reason I'm trying to do this is that you understand how to run your painting. All right, so let's zoom out. I think this is cool. Okay, so see another highlight down here. See your mid-tone, see your shadow, see your highlights, see your highlights, see your highlights. There's another one here. See your highlights here again. So I'm just taking my time to show you exactly what this whole stuff does. This is mid-tone, I guess, or highlight, whatever. All right, so here, look at the hand. Don't worry, I'm going to take time to explain why I'm drawing all of this. All right, so I think I'm done for now. This should be enough to make us understand what we are saying. Now, here is your highlight. Here is your mid-tone, rather. The rule says do not paint your highlights into your shadows. I come again. Do not paint your highlights into your shadows. What does that mean? It means that you can't start painting here, and start spilling over to this area. The moment you start doing that, you lose your image. You lose the dimensions of your image. So the second tip is this: paint according to anatomy of the skin. Follow the way the skin is going, follow the shape, follow the flow, and by doing so, look at this highlight over here again, and by doing so, you will end up getting the same, making sure you are maintaining where the highlights are, you are maintaining where the shadows are, you are not messing stuffs up. So having explained that, look at the way it's flowing. So this is how we're going to be moving our brushes. Yeah, this is how we're going to be moving our brushes around the image. So having explained that, I'm going to now delete this layer. Let's go back to frequency separation, correcting tones, minimize your high frequency, pick up your mixer brush, and zoom in on your image. Now you do not need to zoom in this close, because you might not be seeing what you are doing. Yeah, at the end of the day, you might end up making mistakes. So I would advise you just work from a distance, maybe somewhere around here, so you can be seeing the overall effect of everything you are doing. You can be seeing the overall effect of every single thing you are doing. All right, so let's start painting. So first of all, I'm going to paint over this highlight here. So I'm just going to follow it exactly the way it is. So I'm just going to do a circular painting over here, just here, like this, just on the highlight like this. Yeah, like that. So this is the mid-tone. I'm going to paint here separately, like this. Look at here. I'm going to paint here separately. Look at here. So just follow the mid-tones the way they are. Do not paint your shadows. Like, don't paint like this. Do you get? See the way my brush is moving? That's going to mess things up for you. Or try to paint it straight up like this. No, it's going to mess things up for you. Paint it according to the anatomy of the skin. So your brush size should be determined by the shape of the place you are painting per time. Do you get? Yeah, like that. So just take it slowly. Look at here like this. Beautiful. Just make sure that your brush is assuming the size of the area you are painting per time, like that. So take your time, get this done. A lot of practice is going to make you perfect it. So just make sure you do not drag, and your stroking or your brushing should just be one click. Don't do front and back, front and back. You're going to mix up tones. You're going to mix up tones. So just take it like this. The way your body, the way your skin anatomy is. Look at that area. So I'm just painting in a circular shape like this. In a circular shape like this. Make sure you are maintaining the dimensions of your skin like that. Follow it carefully. Follow it carefully. Now, after painting, we are going to do what is called blending. So when we blend it, you are going to notice that things are going to become quite even and all of that, like that. So circle again. So look at the edges of the transition. Look at here. So if you look at this place, you're going to notice that this is where your highlight and your midtones intercepted. So just make your brush a bit bigger in a way that half of it can be in your midtone and half of it can be in your highlight, and just paint over them like that. So by doing that, you're going to blend your midtones and your highlight together and still follow the anatomy even as you are doing that, so you don't mess up your skin like that. Nice. Okay, so take your time, get it right. Take your time, get it right. See how smooth the transition is looking already. So you can just paint around like this. Look at this area. Take it slowly. Look at that part. Just carefully blend your tones in. There is no need to rush this. There's no need to rush. If you rush, it's going to affect your general results like that. Okay, so blend this in right here. Blend this in like that. Okay, so let's look at the before and after of exactly what we did. So this is before, this is after. Subtle changes, but already very, very effective. This is before, this is after, this is before, this is after. So if you notice one thing, we are maintaining our highlights and our shadows perfectly. All the shadows are still where they were. All the highlights are still where they were. But we are now blending stuff up. That is what we are doing with frequency separation. So let's go back and continue. Okay, so right here, just blend stuffs in a little here, and we are good to go. So let's come down to the nose. Look at the way the highlight is on the nose. So just follow it the same way it is. Paint it down like this. Do not paint your shadows into your highlight, and do not paint your highlight into your. So here, just take it circular like this. Then paint here, just a straight line like this. Nice. Look at that one over there. Follow it exactly the way the shape is. So look at this place, just paint like that. So you can make your brush small so you do not spill your shadows like this. Nice. So look at the shadow here again. Take it slowly. You can now make your brush a bit bigger so you can blend the mid-tone and the highlight together, without having to lose it like this. Nice. Take your time and get this right. If you miss it here, you've missed it. Okay, so look at this place. I'm going to follow the way it is like that. Make it small. Make your brush small. Look at the shadow right there. Make it small. follow the nose exactly the way it is. That's the secret. Follow the shapes exactly the way they are, and you will get your job right. All right, so like that's nice. So over the highlights one more time, make your brush smaller, and we are good to go. And we are good to go. So take your time, get yours right. Make sure you are getting everything exactly the way they're supposed to be. Make sure you're getting everything exactly the way they're supposed to be. And we are good to go. All right, so moving forward, look at the eye over here. Let me do before and after so you can see what we did around the nose. So this is before, this is after, this is before, this is after, this is before, this is after. Subtle changes, very effective. So you can actually do a little painting there to make sure you get your stuff right. Make sure you get your stuff right like this. Nice. Okay, so look at there. Paint is over. Paint it over like this. Beautiful. All right, so follow the shape, follow the shape, follow the shape, follow the shape. Like that's nice. All right, so we'll come over to the cheek. Look at the cheek, look at the highlights, the way it's flowing. So maintain it. This is the shadow right here. So we'll just paint in like that. This is the highlight, paint in like that. See this one? Make your brush small, follow that shape. Like that, slide it in. Make sure your brush is the size of the area you are painting per time. Follow the highlights the way it's flowing. Look at here. Look at here. I think we did too much, so I can just do Ctrl Z and go back. So like that. Look at that shadow. So you can now blend these two areas in because of the transition there. Just blend the two areas in like that. So we're good to go. Look at this one like this. So just take your time and get this done. Of course, it's going to be quite an extensive video because we are doing everything here. I'm not fast forwarding any procedure. We're going to stay around and watch it until we are done. So grab your seatbelt because we are in for a ride. All right, so take it slowly like this. Look at the shape, follow the shadow like that. Look at this one, follow it like that. Look at the highlights, follow it like that. Look at this one, follow it. So just take your time and get these ones right. This is where you can decide to blend in stuffs like this. Nice. All right, so you can go back to see exactly what you are doing to make sure you're not messing things up. So this is before, this is after. Our shadows are still intact. Our shadows are still intact. We'll go back. It's around here. Look at this shadow. Make sure you are maintaining it like that. Do not paint it out. Okay, so look at here. Follow it the way it is. Look at that one. Look at this one. Okay, so you can feel like I should blend here in a little more. It's not blended properly. All right, so look at this area. We can equally blend here in. Okay, so this just the transition that we are blending in. We are not painting the shadows into the highlights like that. Okay, so look at here. Sorry, I wasn't supposed to zoom in that close. Follow the shadows the way they are so you can be seeing exactly what you are doing. Got it, this one. All right, so down to the lips, look at here, to the cheeks rather. So paint here like this, over, paint here over, paint here separately, Here should be a round shape like this. You can now paint around it to blend it in perfectly like that. Look at the shape right here. Make sure you are maintaining those tiny highlights so you don't mess up your image like that. Beautiful. Okay, so here like this, over here like this. Nice. So you might constantly need to keep your hand on your bracket open and close. That is where you make your brush smaller or bigger. And remember, your brush size is very important for your frequency separation, because that is what allows you to reduce it to the size and shape of the anatomy of the area you are painting per time. Look at that shadow. Look at here. Just make sure you maintain stuffs the way they are. Look at this shadow. Look at it. Just paint down like this. Paint over here separately. Paint over here separately. Paint over here separately like this. Do not just drag it straight in a straight line. It's going to mess up your work. So you can blend these two areas over like this. Nice. So you see the transition is now looking smooth. Look at this one. Follow the shape the way it is like that. Like that. Look at these highlights like this. Okay, so you can flow down. Look at the way this one is going. Seeing a shadow here, so you can just blend stuffs in. Okay, so here paint separately. See the shadow here, follow it the way it is. So the essence of beauty retouch is to keep things very natural and neat. Very natural and neat, or very realistic and neat, like that. So that's exactly what we are doing. We are trying to keep it as realistic as it is originally, but making sure it now appears neat. It appears neat like that. Nice. Okay. Just carefully paint over like this. Look at here. Okay, so let's do before and after. Make sure we are still on track. Before, after, before, after, before, after. Subtle changes, but we're already getting there. See the way the picture is already looking popped out. All right, so let's go back to what we are doing. All right, so carefully take your time, get it right, and blend here in. Got that area, and blend stuffs in right here, and blend it in. Okay, let's try and see if we can blend these two areas just like this. Okay, nice. Make sure you are following the highlight the way it's flowing, please. If you don't, it's going to mess up your image. Follow it exactly the way it is. Look at the nose again, back here. All right, so highlight is going this way, this is going up, this is flowing down, this is going like this. Just maintain them the way they are flowing. Let's zoom in a little and work here. So this is a round one. I'm going to paint round. Just stroke over the highlight like this. Stroke over the highlight like this. Stroke here. See the shape of this one. See the shape of this one. Zoom out so you can see what you are doing. Okay, here. Okay. We are good like that. Follow the shadow like that. Nice. Alright, so I think I'm having a little irregularity here, so I can just blend that in. Alright. Nice. Right here. Zoom in a little to see how it is. Look at the highlight, flow it in. So you can just blend stuff around, make it look seamless, but still very realistic. Look at your shadows. Do not lose that. Nice. Okay, so All right, so we're good to go. I think that will be it for the face. And we'll move straight to the body. Move straight to the body and get stuffs blended in. All right. Okay. Let's talk on the cheek a little, just a little like this. The reason I'm zooming in and zooming back, zooming in and zooming back, so I'll make sure I am not leaving any area untouched. You can make your thumbnail to become extra large, so you can be seeing exactly what you are doing on your empty layer. Now, if you look at the empty layer, it's assuming the shape of the lady. So that layer is just simply showing us everywhere we've touched and everywhere we've not touched. So if you look at it closely, you'll be able to know that, okay, I've touched some places. There are some places that are still left out. You know, if you're supposed to touch it or leave it out the same way it was left out. So that's one more advantage of using that particular layer. It allows you to see the history of what you are doing in a mask form. So you'll be able to know, okay, when when have I covered my whole face and when have I not? So it gives you that flexibility. So this is before, this is after, this is before, this is after. The essence is to keep the whole thing beautiful and flawless. Beautiful and flawless. So let's move to the body. Let's move to the body. Okay, so this is highlight. Flow it down like that. Flow it down like that. This is your shadow. Flow it down like that. Just carefully take care of things like this. So this is a highlight. Follow it the way it is. This is a shadow. Follow it the way it is. See your highlights. You can blend stuffs in. Look at the shadow. Got the highlights down here. So just follow the shape of your shadow and your highlight. Do not paint your shadows into your highlights and do not paint your highlights into your shadows. Just blend in. Just blend in. Look at the highlights. Look at this mid-tone here. Just blend stuffs in over here. Alright, so look at the shadow, paint over. Look at this one. Look at this one. So let's do before and after and see exactly what we did. Before, after, subtle changes, already looking amazing like that. So you can just blend stuff in like this. Beautiful. So if you look at the transition, you are going to notice that transition is smooth, but I'm not losing my highlights. That's the essence of the whole thing. Your transition needs to be smooth when you are while taking care of stuff in your image. Look at this place. So just paint here in like this. Nice. Excuse me. All right, so just paint here in like this. Look at the look at the highlights here. So just follow the highlight the way it is. Look at that mid-tone over. Slide it down. Look at those highlights. Paint it the way it is. Follow it the way it is. Decide to just make it circular. Look at the highlights. Follow it the way it is. Let's zoom it. Let's do before and after and see what we have there. So this is before, this is after. Let's go back in. So we need to even this one out so it looks very smooth. So just take your time, get it right like this. Nice. Paint it. So the essence of the whole thing is to make it look blended in at the end of the day, at the edges especially. Got the edge right here. So blend stuffs in, but make sure you maintain your highlight, maintain the shape, maintain the flow. Make sure you do not paint stuffs too much. At this one over here, just make sure things are still as natural as they looked initially, like that. Nice. Okay, so we are good to go. You can blend in the mid-tones over here and blend it in. So see how smooth that area is already looking. Let's do before and after so we can see. So this is before, This is after. See how smooth it's already, how blended in it's already looking. So just blend it in with the surrounding tones around it. Remember how I told you to blend it in, make it a bit bigger. Make your brush a bit bigger so that half of the brush can be in the mid-tone or the shadow, depending on what is beside your highlight or your skin tone. So that when you paint over the two, it just blends stuffs in without painting each other into each other. What was that? All right, so just do this like this gradually. Gradually get it done like that. Follow your highlights. Look at the flow of shadow here. You can just take your time, get it right. Follow it the way it is, like that. Nice. All right, so this is highlights. Run over. See this one down here. See that one. Okay, so make sure you get your skin properly evened out. Do not lose your dimensions. Very important. Do not lose your dimensions. Do not flatten things out. If you lose your dimensions, your images are going to appear very flat and it's going to look messy. So do not lose your dimensions. Do not make things look very flat. And you are good to go. You are good to go. Like that. Beautiful. See the way it's flowing. Amazing. So this is my highlights. Paint it in like this. See this one. See my shadow here. See this one. See that transition. So you can just blend it in very smoothly. Nice. Okay, so let's look at before and after of that skin area. Before, after. Still having my stuffs in the natural places they are. Look at this one. And just blend it in like this. Nice. Okay, so gradually we are beginning to get our image out. Okay, so this one. Gradually blend stuffs in. Got that transition, keep it intact. All right, so look at these highlights here. Gradually just flow it over. Look at your mid-tone. Okay, we're good to go. So just take it slowly. Look at this one. Paint over until it appears smooth. Then blend it in. That's just the only way to do it. Paint over till it appears smooth. Then blend in. Blend it in. That's here. Got the highlights. Follow it. Look at this one. Use it to follow this mid-tone or the shifting highlight like that. Got this one. All right, so it's the flow of light on the body for me. If you miss this flows of light, these flows of light on the body, you might have missed your image. So just follow stuffs around, gradually blending them in until they begin to look very, very even and seamless and perfectly blended in like that. Got the shadow, do not lose it, very important. Got that one. Got this highlight, do not lose it. So you can blend these two areas in between the highlight and the mid-tone. Got that one, you can blend it in. Got this one, yeah, beautiful. Got the flow of shadow. Got this one here, you can blend it in like that. So I promise you that this is going to be an extensive video. We are still taking our time to get our frequency separation right. I do not want to fast forward anything, so you might need to stick and learn. All right, like that. So get stuff perfectly blended in. Cut here, smoothing it out. Nice. Look at here. See this area. Okay. Feel like I still need a little blending over here. It's not looking so blended and evened out nicely. Okay. Look at the neck. Can walk here. Look at the shadow over there. Keep it intact. Keep your shadow intact. Make sure you're maintaining your highlights and paint in like this. Nice. Got the highlights here. Okay, we are good to go. All right, beautiful image. Beautiful image. So I'm just taking my time to make sure we'll have stuffs perfectly blended in. If we miss it here, we've missed it. Just taking my time to make sure we'll have it blended in perfectly. If there's any area that is not looking so right to me, I'll go back and blend in, still maintaining the shape of all my shadows, following them the way they are flowing. Okay. Okay, that area. Just make it a bit bigger. Make it smaller again. Just gradual dabbing here and there, and your skin is going to look evened out. Okay, so look at the arm. Come over to this area. The highlights like that. Beautiful. Beautiful. So look at the shadow. Follow it the way it is. Look at this one. Look at the highlights. Follow it. Look at the shadow here. Follow it. And we are good to go. Let's move over to this area. So this is the highlight. Follow it the way it is. Follow the shadows the way they are. Do not paint stuff over. So this one. So you can actually open it up to look at that arm. See if you want that flow in the shadow. I think I want it. Oh, this is before, this is after. Before, after. Now, I think I want it the way it is. So I'm going to follow it the way it is also. You can actually decide to even here out to make things look very, very slender. So see the way it's blended, so you can now start painting it normally. Yeah, because sometimes some shadows might equally look distracting, so the best thing to do at that point is to remove it entirely or blend it into your midtones to make it come out better. That was exactly what I did. Just blended that particular shadow that was too distracting, blended it into the midtones, and I'm still following it. So if you go back, you would think nothing actually happened there, but something actually happened. Look at it, just slight blending to make it look beautiful. Okay, so this is another highlight. Careful. This is your highlight. Paint it straight like this. Like this. See your midtones. See this one. See your shadow. So just take your time. Get it right. Too much of it is going to mess up your whole image. Like that's nice. See the shadow? Beautiful like this. Nice one. Okay, we are good to go. Got the midtone, just even stuffs out. So this is quite a long process of work, but you are sure it gives you a beautiful result at the end of the day. Of course, to get a very nice retouched image, you need to put in the work. You need to put in the work, but the result is always amazing. You follow through the rules and principles perfectly. The results are always amazing. Okay, so just blend stuffs in like that. Nice. So let me just blend these two areas in so it looks flawless and seamless like that. So this is how you get your frequency separation done. So let's open stuffs up and see what we've done so far. Is there any area we are missing out? Here is still looking quite somehow to me. So I'll just do a general blending. Okay, so below the shadow, look at it there. Got the highlights, got the shadows. All right, so let's zoom out, do before and after. Okay, so this is our frequency separation so far. Before, after, before, after, before, after. Now, the next thing we're going to be doing is to take care of unwanted skin textures, unwanted blemishes here and there. So to do that, we're going to be making use of our clone stamp tool. And to make use of your clone stamp tool, now you are going to be working on your texture layer. So you need to make your clone stamp very tiny, very, very tiny. See how tiny mine is? So you do not leave patterns on your image. Do not leave patterns. So just take care of those unwanted. Excuse me. Make sure that your all layers, you have to select your current layer like this. Nice. Okay, so make sure your current layer is checked, not all layers, because we are working on the texture. So select just the current layer so it doesn't mess things up for you. So just take your time. Let's see if we can create a black and white adjustment layer just above all of this, like this. So it gives us a proper view of where unwanted skin textures are. So after the whole stuff, we'll just delete the black and white. Let's see if that will work. Okay, so look at that. Nice. See the skin tone. See, just unwanted skin textures here and there. Look at that white one. Just to make things work, look at this. So, seeing a line here, I feel I should take care of that line. Just pick it, fix it like this. Okay, seeing another one over the skin. Seeing another one. So this one is equally a long process. You need to equally take your time and get it right. See that white one? I do not want that. See one on the lips. Okay, so these are unwanted skin textures. You need to work over time to be able to see, for your eyes to be trained to see these unwanted skin textures where they are, even from afar, so you can take care of them gradually. Now, the only reason we created a black and white adjustment layer over all of this, you can actually use this to take care of your eye bag. The reason we created the black and white adjustment layer over all of this is because we wanted to have uh, a visual, how do I put that? A visual guide, yeah. Let's have a visual guide of what we are doing. So what the black and white will do for us is I just takes away the colors. So we can be looking at the just the luminosity. That allows us to see exactly what we are looking at or what we are looking for. Just the same way you use your black and white to take care of blemishes while removing your essence, your pimples, and all of that. So that's what the idea of the black and white. That's just the idea of the black and white. After we just, remove it and we are good. Just remove it and we are good. Got the line. Just sample and paint over. Take care of it, I guess. Make sure you're not sampling the line itself. Okay. Nice one. I think I need a little fixing over here. The forehead. So just fix stuff around. Alright, just carefully take your time, get it right. You need to zoom in to have that done. Zoom in. Remove hairs that are flying around that you do not want. Okay, so seeing some patterns here that I do not want. So I'm just trying to fix this stretching in the pixel and the patterns over here to make it look evened out. So we can actually close before and after to see the results. Nice. I think I love the way it's taking care of that for me. So just carefully paint over and things will be done. Nice. Okay. So this is the reason I said you should make your clone stamp tiny. If it's not tiny, trust me, all this I'm doing, they are going to be leaving patterns on the skin and you are going to know that something actually happened there. Or with the tiny brush, with the tiny size of the clone stamp, you are going to hardly notice that anything actually happened there. All right, so the hairs. Just take your time and get these ones right. Take your time and get them right, and we are good to go. Got the edge over here, so I'm just going to paint here out. Place it with another texture. Okay, nice one. I think I'm having a line here. I don't know once. Okay, we're good to go. Make sure you don't mess stuff up. You zoom out, look at the image, nice, beautiful. See how neat the whole picture is already appearing. Do I want that hair over there? Let's zoom out and look. No, I do not want the hair, so I'm going to probably take care of stuff here. Just like this. Paint it over. Get it right. And collect from here. Make sure you are picking samples from surrounding areas so you do not make it look very, very unrealistic. Look at this area. So fix here first. Some distracting skin textures here and there. So just fix here first so we can sample from here and take care of the other area. Nice one. So from here we can now start fixing these areas. Make things even out and smoothen out the way they should be. So I told you this one is going to, it's equally a long process, but trust me, the results are always amazing. It's more like saying you are doing micro dodge and burning, but now you are not doing micro dodge and burning. You are using your clone stamp to fix stuff. I'm just trying to paint. Hold on. Decide to paint it in from here. Make it very realistic. Take from surrounding skin tones. That's just the idea of the whole thing. Take from surrounding skin tones. So you get your job perfectly done and good to go. Okay, have that fixed. Just take your time, get your skin as neat as possible, still maintaining your. Okay, so let's see what we have here. So we are noticing a little shift in shadow. So you can actually take up just your normal brush like this, reduce the opacity, maybe somewhere around 5 to paint things faster. Make it soft, make it soft. Pick up a color from here and paint over that skin like this to blend it in like that, just over that skin alone. You can even create a new layer so you can have control over the opacity like this. So the reason I created a new layer is that so I can control the opacity of that skin tone. All right, so this is before, this is after. See the way it's now looking soft. Make sure you don't lose your shadow doing that. Okay, so you can reduce the opacity right now. You are good to go. So let's look at the image again from when we started. You can delete your black and white. We are done with that. Delete it, just delete black and white. So this is our frequency separation before and after. Before and after. Amazing result. Before, after, before, after. We are good to go. Take your time. Make sure you have evened skin tone. I think I have one or two places I need to still correct. Somewhere around the nose. Right here. Look at that unwanted skin texture. Take care of that. Sorry, that was too much. Okay, nice. I think I need to get that out. was not looking exactly the way I wanted it. So, all right, nice, beautiful. So at this point, you can go back to your mixer brush and blend that area back in. Remember, get this closed. Sorry, get this closed. Look at how bad that is looking. Okay, so like that. Make sure you do not mess up your work. All right, we are back again. All right, so this is the result before, after. You can go through the skin itself to make sure you do not have anything you want to use your clone stamp to fix. I think I'm seeing a bit of a hair. Yeah, I need to get that fixed as well. Look at that one. Nice work. All right, so just take your time and get your skin perfectly taken care of. So this is why it's always important while shooting, keep your stuffs as clean as possible. If you all these hairs on the body, if you know you wouldn't want it at the end of the day, you might need to fix it on set. You might need to fix it on set. Just before you start shooting, tell your your hair designer or your makeup artist to please help you fix the hairs on the skin, so you wouldn't have to do all this work at the end of the day. See the way it's taking a lot of our time just to get it out. It would have taken just probably 2 minutes for the hairstylist to fix it, and your shoot continues. Just drag a straight line like that, just get things out. Pick from here, drag it over like this. So we're trying to fix all the hair on the skin. I think we're getting this one out slowly. So take your time. I repeat it again. The essence of beauty retouch is to keep it so neat and so real. Keep it so neat and so real. If you know it's going to start messing things up when you start getting into this place trying to fix the hair, leave it the way it is. If you know it's going to start messing things up, leave it the way it is. Because once you start messing up your whole skin, you are beginning to lose your image. Yeah. It's better to see the hairs there. It's part of the whole stuff. Make it look very intentional than mess your image up. Once you mess your image up, it's not good again. Okay, so I think I'm going to stop right here. Going to stop right here because once I get into this area, we're going to mess the whole thing up. So let's just stop right there. You can fix these ones. Just the ones that are not connected to the hair itself, you can fix those ones. But the ones that have a direct connection to the hair, you can leave those ones. Your artistic choice anyway. If you have all the time, you can take care of that. That's the beauty of it. All right, so I've seen another one down here. I'm beginning to see some skin textures around the lips that we need to fix. So we'll just jump right straight at it and fix it. Okay, so look at the lips. I think here needs cleaning. Just clean here out. Just clean it out. Like that's nice. Look at the skin around the lips. Looking quite rough. So just take care of it. right here. I do not want that. Look at the shape. Just blend this in. That was too much. Let's look at before, after, before, after. I think we lost a bit of the lips. We can just paint it back in like that. Nice. So look at this skin over here. We don't want that, so just take care of it. All right. So around the lips, because there are always irregularities here and there. Look at this bad skin texture, man. All right. So take your time, fix it. Gradually paint it over, takes care of it, starts selecting from the wrong area, pick another sample. Okay, like that, and we are good to go. Nice. Seeing another skin area. Beautiful. Look at how seamless these whole stops are looking. Look at how seamless the whole stops are looking. Okay, so we are good to go. This is our frequency separation. This is before, this is after, this is before, this is after. Now, the next thing we're going to be doing is our global dodge and burning, color grade, and we are good to go. So we're going to be using our global dodge and burning. How do we do that? We'll see, go back to Retouch Academy. We use dodge and burn curves over here. Once you do that, you're going to notice that your image is going to turn black and white. This is called visual aid. So it doesn't affect your image, it just gives you a guide of where the highlights and the shadows are. So you can just open the group here. This is the visual aid group. We'll delete that later. So this is your dodge. Let's make it smaller so we can see the names. So this is your burn. This is your dodge. First of all, we are looking at the dodge. Take your brush, keep it at 2. Keep your opacity at 100 and your flow at 2. So what you're doing here is to make the highlights pop. Do not introduce new highlights. Just focus on the ones that are there already. Make it pop like that. Focus on the ones that are there already and make it pop out just like that. Look at here. Make it pop. Don't stay on one area for too long. Do not stay on one area for too long. Please make sure your foreground color is white. I noticed it was not affecting my image, so I had to check what happened. Make sure your foreground color is white. Do not stay on one area for too long. It's going to mess up your image like that. So this is before, after, before, after. Very subtle. Like this highlight here, we'll paint it over. Like this one at the eye. We'll just can equally use this to flatten out an area maybe you think is not too perfect. I think I like it now. Let's pop out the highlights again. Do not stay in one area for too long. It's going to mess things up like that. Nice. So you can equally zoom out. Don't zoom in too close so you can be seeing exactly what you are doing. Okay, so here we need pop of highlights at the top here. You can actually close your frequency separation so you can see where the original highlights are falling. See our frequency separation, still maintaining our highlights, all of that. So keep it that way. Very simple. Look at these highlights here. Just accentuate that. Pop this out a little like that. Nice. I've seen another one here. Look at this one here. Drag it down a little. Do not introduce new highlights. Just maintain the ones that are there already. Maintain the ones that are there already. Follow the flow of skin the same way we did it in our frequency separation. Now, some areas may not need the same intensity of dodging. Some areas might not need the same intensity of dodging. Just know how many strokes you are giving each area per time, so you do not mess up your image. I think I need small here, small here. Right, look at the lips. So you can actually take it up a little just to make the lips pop like that. Just to make the highlight on the lips pop. Sometimes it looks so beautiful on the lips. Yeah, looks so beautiful on the lips. So you may need to just take it up a little for the purposes of the lips. After that, take it back to 2 and continue what you were doing. I think we need a little highlight on the edges like that. Nice. To push it out. Look at here. Look at this area. So zoom out. Continue it exactly the way we are doing it. So let's check before, after, before, after. Subtle changes. Do not do too much. Look at the cheek here. Or the elbow. I don't know what to call that. I guess it's a collarbone. Collarbone. Got the highlights here. Follow it the way it is. Got this one. Follow it the way it is. Look at this one. So do not lose your highlights. Just a little. Seeing a little highlight over here. Make this pop out. Take this down. Bring this out. All right. So we are good to go like this. Those areas that need lots of it, maybe by the move of lightening, may need to just focus there a little, make things come out like that. Nice. Do not make it look too fake. Zoom out to see. Let me remove the black and white. Okay, so I need to be sure of what I did there, so I know I'm not messing up my image. There's another highlight here. Nice one. Okay, so I think we're cool. We're cool with our dodging. Move straight to our burning. So now in the burning, you may need to drop it down to 1 because it's more dicey than the dodge. Nudge it down to 1 and follow the shapes too, like that. Look at the nose. Follow the shape of the shadows, the way it's falling. The way it's falling, follow it that way. See the way it's wrapping around the nose. Take it slowly that way too. And you are good to go. Look at that one. Look at this one. We didn't put highlights there, though it's already highlighted. Let's just make it open. Yeah. There's a shadow here. Just paint down like this. Darken here a little. Nice one. See another one. Sorry. See another one here. See this one here. See this one. Look at this one. So I'm just taking time to get it the way it is naturally. Look at this one. Darken things down a little. Look at here. Look at here. Beautiful stuff here and there. Nice one. Go back. Just to make things pop. So the essence of the dodging and burning is to produce that 3D dimension of the image. To give that your image a 3D dimension. That is just the essence of the whole dodging and burning. Nothing else. You can wrap this around like this. Nice. Okay, so we are good to go. I think we need a little burning here. Just a little here. And we are ready. So let's take away the visual aid and look at the dodging and burning globally. So this is dodging and burning. We've already applied that, except that we are missing the lips. So we'll go back and burn the lips in. Go back and burn the lips. Maybe we'll just try somewhere around 5. Somewhere around 5 on your visual aid. So you see your shadows. Look at it. Zoom in a little. You may need to zoom in on the lips to be able to do this. So I just want to accentuate. This is too much. Just want to accentuate the lips with my dodging and burning, just like that. Don't need to do too much, just to get it accentuated so that when someone looks at it, the lips are standing out. That's just the essence. Nothing else. Okay, we're good to go. Take it out. Beautiful. So let's look at it before and after. So this is before, after, before, after. So having done that, you can now on your frequency separation. So before, after. Amazing results. Amazing results. think I need to fix here. You can go to your frequency separation, pick up your clone stamp again. I think I'm seeing a little discrepancy here and there, so just very tiny. Fix that line on the lips. Yeah, like that. You don't need to do too much. Just make sure you don't mess up the whole thing. Make sure you do not mess up the whole thing. Okay, we are good. We are good. We are good. We are good. So don't do too much. Where is it? All right. Okay, so here. Maybe I should just dodge there. You have to just dodge to avoid making it look messy. And just dodge it, zoom out so you can see it. Just dodge it once it's shape, stop. All right, we are good. We are good. So let's look at it again. And after generally. Okay, so go back. Get it done. Okay. Then, all right. So little more skin texture to correct. Sorry, I was wrong. So you have to stay in your high frequency and get this done. Where's my clone stamp? Nice. Okay. So just here and there. You need to zoom in, zoom out. Just the essence is to get the whole skin looking beautiful. To get the whole skin looking beautiful. Just like that. That is the essence. So if it's not looking beautiful, if it's not looking flawless and seamless, you still got work to do. All right, so we are good. Zoom out. So this is our overall before and after. Let me delete the visual aid group. All right, so this is before, this is after. Let me group the two of them together so we could see it. So this is our before, this is after, this is before, this is after. So one more thing I would love to do is to apply a dodge and burn on the hair itself. On the hair itself. Just on the hair. It wouldn't take time. Don't need to be too careful with this one. Just to make the hair pop like this. See the dodge. See here like this. So I love to do this, especially to coily hairs. So it just makes it stand out for me. Just make it stand out. And zoom in. Make sure you're avoiding the skin. You are done with that. Just the hair. Do not paint any other place. Just the hair. All right. So just gives it a 3D dimension look for me. I love to do this on my hairs. So for the shadows like this, beautiful. It just separates it for you. Okay. So after doing this, we are good to go. Our skin is nice. All right, so I think I need a little dodging here. Yeah. All right, so let's delete the visual aid and see it. Zoom out. Nice. So this is just for the hair before and after. See that extra kick on the hair, and we are good to go. Now we are done with our skin retouching. The next thing we might want to take care of is the eye. So we want to make the eye pop out a little. So just go to your Retouching Academy. You are going to see your magic eye. Click on it. It's going to load up for you. Let's wait for that. It's going to load up for you. Then once it does that, open up the group, take your brush, open up the group, go to this one right here. Make sure your flow is quite high and clean the eyes. Simple. Just clean the eyes like this. Nice. Be careful not to mess your eyes up. Avoid the pupils. Avoid the pupils. Just go around it. Just go around it like this. Keep it real. So this equally takes care of the red blood vessels in the eyes. Of course, you can take care of that using your frequency separation. Just using your clone stamp can take care of that as well. All right, so we have that done. Come over to this place. Paints. So the essence of this Retouch Academy is just to, ease out the stress of setting layers and actions. So it has it all set out for you. So you just step in, just jump on it and use it. Just jump on it and use it, and we are good to go. All right, so of course we are dropping the opacity. Sticking too much. Okay, that's good. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to color grade my image. How do I do that? Very simple. I think I like the skin tone already. I love how rich it's looking, so warm. So I'm going to just apply a color lookup over the image to just make it look a bit. All right, so let's not use color lookup. Let's just tone it ourselves. So go to your levels, drag your highlights in a little, return your midtones. So what this does is that this gives our image a little kick of contrast. So this is before, this is after. A little kick of contrast, we'll drop it down a little. Go to your, can actually use your photo filter to make it look warmer. See, it's looking way warmer, but I don't want that. Just drop it down a little. So this is before, this is after. Go to your color balance or use your gradient map. So I'm going to be using gradient map. I want to use my legacy gradient. If you do not see your legacy gradient, you may need to remove this. Go to Windows, load up your gradients right here. Then just right here, select legacy gradients. So having done that, you are done with this. So go and select your gradient again. It's right inside there. So look at it right here. So I'm going for photographic toning. This is it. So I need something warm. Here it is. Press OK. Change your blend mode to soft light. Look at that. Beautiful. You can try other blend modes to see the one that makes it look so amazing to you. I think, wait, let's scroll through and see what we have to play around with. What's this one? Multiply. What does that do? Let's drop down the fill. Let's drop down the fill a little just to see what it looks like. I think that's too dark for me. So let's just pick our soft light. So this is before, this is after. Increase it a little. So I think the image is now looking too dark in the shadow. So go back to the levels. Open up the shadows. Just open up your midtones a little, just like that. Nice. Just a little like that. So this is before. Can group the whole stuff together to look at the color grading. So I just wanted to keep it warm, very warm and beautiful. Very warm and beautiful. So this is before, this is after, before, after. I think it's too much. I'm going to just drop it down a little. So this is just how you use, this is how you can set up your own color lookups and your pictures will be looking amazing. So I think I like this. I think I love this one. I love the color, the way it's warm and all of that. So I'm going to be sticking with this and we are good to go. Our image is done. Thank you for watching. See you on our next video. Please make sure you practice and practice and practice. If you notice, the image took a whole lot of time to get it done. The reason is because we wanted to get everything in details, So the last thing I would do to the image is to actually add some texture to it. So to do that, I'm going to create a stamp visible layer. Control Shift Alternate E. It's going to create a stamp visible layer above all of this. Sorry, press W. Control Shift Alternate E. So it's going to create a stamp visible layer above all of this. Go to your filter, select order, select high pass. Maybe 2 should be opening up your texture a little. Nice. Press OK, change it to soft light. So the reason I'm adding this amount of texture, I think overlay is better. The reason I'm adding this texture to the image is because when you post it on your handles, some social media platforms does some compressions on your images. So when they do those compressions, it brings it back to its original detail. That's why we are adding this particular one. It brings it back to its original detail. Thank you for watching. How do you save one more thing, please? Sorry, it's taking a whole lot of time. So I'm going to flatten all of this together. So remember, this was where we started before. This was the original image. That was after fixing the foundational stuffs. Then this is the after. Maybe I should just take you through the history so you could see it perfectly. There's my history. All right, so let's open it up. So this was the image when we came into Photoshop. See, looking so messy and all of that. So this is the image after editing. We did not lose any highlights or any shadow. We just made things pop out. Thank you for watching this amazing video. Thank you. See you on our next video. So to export, you can actually press Ctrl Shift.